Everybody, in this video I'm going to go over our free mulch. So it's not like we're trying to get rid of mulch, we're giving mulch away so that people can conserve water and help their garden become much healthier. So I can't tell you how many gardens I've gone to and installed these beautiful Japanese maples and dug this huge hole and not find a single insect, not a single soil dweller at all. That's dead soil. That means your trees, your plants, all of that stuff, there's no way it can stay healthy without that soil health and soil dwellers. So the mulch that we're providing is a product that I've been using for almost 10 years now. They basically grind up commercial green waste, and it's the same material that's used in, say, your colored mulches, so those chips that you get that are colored. It's the same product, it's just been finely ground so that it decomposes much quicker and is much easier to use as a soil amendment. So the larger the piece of wood, the longer it takes for it to decompose, and the less amount of water that you have, the longer it'll take for that wood to decompose, for the soil to decompose that that material. And so the finer you have it ground, the quicker that process happens, and the more soil moisture can be retained by having less exposure to the sun. So when you have the larger chips, it's very easy for the sun to evaporate that moisture out of that soil. So the finer the product, the less water is going to be lost through evaporation. And less water evaporation means that soil temperature can stay lower and the soil moisture will stay moist longer. And if you have soil that dries out, that means that the soil dwellers, all the microbes in the soil and the soil dwellers will go dormant or die. So that process will generally cause the soil health to go down. So you want to try to keep that temperature low and keep that moisture level at a certain level in order for that soil life to continue to live. So here in California on this scorching day, our soil will basically dry up and become like clay. It's literally, you can almost, use it like a clay pot. So I'll dig a huge hole with, a 50-pound jackhammer and a chisel. I have to get through that soil. That soil is, completely been, all the moisture has been, totally evaporated from it. And it's very, very difficult for a garden to stay healthy in soil that doesn't have that soil life in it, that's digging holes in there and leaving feces and babies and all the rest of it. That creates tunneling, and that tunneling creates air, and that air helps the plants to breathe and also for their root system to expand. So back to the mulch. So the mulch is a very finely ground material, and the way that it works is the finer materials, as you walk on it or as it rains or you water, the finer material goes and creates that layer on top of the soil, and that's what immediately starts to be decomposed, and the soil life comes up and basically will start to consume that material. Soil is alive, so soil life is, 1 tablespoon has over trillions of microbes in it. It's 1 tablespoon is more microbes in that tablespoon than there are humans on the planet, and those microbes are consuming the nutrients and the material that's in that mulch, breaking it down, and the next level of soil dwellers will consume that material and those other it's a whole cycle of soil life that basically feeds on each other, and then the plants will feed off of that material. So being able to keep that soil health going, you need to keep that moisture level in the soil, and you need to keep that temperature down, so that fluctuation from watered and then it evaporates and then it the soil dries out, but level soil might be holding that moisture longer, so you have the top of the plant that's completely dried out and you're watering, and the bottom of the plant is oversaturated because that soil is not percolating well. That is recipe for disaster, and that's the biggest killer of Japanese maples, and that's what we do here. So Japanese maples and certain times of the year organic veggies, and we actually use this mulch and basically amend it so that it decomposes faster, and then it basically turns into this really great soil that we use for all of our planting. So basically it just turns into soil, but it has all of those minerals that came from this mulch, so this green material. And what's nice about this is it's a broad spectrum, so it's many different species, both wood material and green material, and the green material is very rapidly decomposed by the microbes in the wood material, so it's very quickly decomposed, and that's when the product will heat up to over 120 degrees, and that's when we know it's killing all of the eggs and the parasites and bacteria or anything that's going to be in that is after that 120 degrees is killed off, and so you have what you're left with is all the minerals and the nutrients from that material. So again, this material is the exact same product that you would go to, if you're going to buy black mulch or red mulch or whatever. If it's not a species-specific mulch like fir mulch or redwood tree mulch or pine bark mulch, then it's going to be the same product. It's just been chipped differently or ground differently, so it's a larger piece. But here in California, because we don't have that constant rain and go months and months on end without rain, that moisture is needed to decompose that material. If you're on the East Coast and you use those larger chips, you will have to replace that every year because of decomposition, and that is a totally different story than what we are facing here in California. So here in California, we need this really fine material, and that will actually break down. It usually takes, if you put a good 3 inches of this material on your garden, and we have a nice rainfall in the winter months, then that will be something that you'll have to freshen up the next season. You can usually get a year and a half out of it if you put that 3 inches down, but then you'll refresh it. And what's nice about that is it's not gone. It's not like your gardener scooped it up when they were cleaning the garden. It's actually decomposed and improving that soil quality, so that's the huge difference. A lot of those chips are large. People will take their blower, and the gardeners will basically, be, picking out the product that you purchased to put down instead of actually it decomposing into your soil. And that's kind of what's nice about this product is, even though it's really fine and people think, oh, it's just going to blow away, not at all. What happens is it actually, once you put it down and gravity starts to pull it in and the world spins and all that whole pressure from gravity starts to decompress it. When you first put it down, it has a lot of air in it, and so that will start to decompress, and then it basically interlocks. Like all of these really fine fibers will interlock and become a really hard surface. It's quite amazing, and you can just take your blower and blow your leaves, like I can show you now. So you generally get the idea there. So once it gets down, this was put down about 2 weeks ago. So those fibers are already interlocking. And so that's really nice, especially if you have oak tree leaves that you don't like seeing in your garden. Then this would be really great for your gardeners to be able to just clean those out without removing the ground cover that you're wanting to put down to improve that soil quality. And that's the thing, we want really beautiful gardens, so we don't want to look at a mess of the leaves and all that stuff on our garden. But in actuality, that material, your leaves, is supposed to fall off the tree and then replenish that soil minerals that the tree has sucked up. So, those leaves are essential for the ground health. And because we, are accustomed to having these really well manicured gardens, we clean them out. And so we're, depleting that soil of those minerals that are supposed to go back in and give the tree the health. So that's what's nice about this product. It's a broad spectrum. So all those minerals, as it decomposes, will replenish all of those nutrients that were supposed to come from those leaves falling. So that's a really great benefit of, improving that soil health, soil quality, soil mineralization, and then on top of that, the savings of water. And if you do mulching correctly, which is usually a minimum of 3 inches of mulch, then you're going to save a ton of money in watering, and then also improve that health of your garden. So if you put the cosmetic mulch down and you just put a tiny layer of it just so you have that color, you're not going to get the savings from the water, because water can very easily evaporate from around those chips, and you're also not going to get that decomposition of that material in a timely manner in order to improve that soil quality. So that's the huge difference between putting something down for cosmetic needs versus putting something down for both cosmetics and for soil health. So this is a great opportunity. It's, again, free. You you can pick up your mulch during the hours that we're open, bring what you need to load it. So that's, your buckets, your cans, or your bags, or, your truck, or whatever it is, and pick it up from the pile. Or if that's inconvenient and timely, then you just order delivery, which is, also pretty inexpensive. You can do that on the website. And we basically back up the truck and drop off the load. So you measure however much you need out, and then we just drop it off in the drive, or the sidewalk, or the side area, or street level, whatever. And you plan for your a good day's work putting that down. So that's basically the rundown of the soil mulch. The biggest money-saving part of this is that you don't have to replace plants and trees because they die from either underwatering, overwatering, or just lack of soil health. So, when I plant these guys, it's a ton of work, and it's a shame for me have to go to a garden and somebody's previous maple or tree died, and more than likely it's because of overwatering, underwatering, or the soil is just completely depleted of soil health. I'll dig the big hole, and it's just amazing to me that I have more bugs in my house than I see in the ground when I dig in that hole. So that's ridiculous. The educational part about gardening is always going to be soil up for garden health. Your healthy soil, healthy garden. And the easiest, best way to do that is putting down, here in California, because of our climate and our soil, this really fine mulch that has been finely ground, and it has all of that broad spectrum mineralization, both green and wood material, to decompose and start to immediately improve that soil quality. So like I said, all of our Japanese maples are planted in this. So we basically take steer manure, this finely ground mulch, some rock material. Rock is really great for the microbes in the soil to create a symbiotic relationship between the tree and the microbes. They exchange sugars and in exchange for the minerals that come from the rock. So we add the rock material that also improves drainage, and then we put it with perlite, which is also a great drainage improver and keeps air in the soil, and then we turn it consistently and keep it watered, and that will break down that material super fast. Within 12 months, we'll generally have a product that is we're able to use as planting our organic veggies, or all of our maples, or all of the other trees that we plant for reforestation projects. So it's a huge rundown on mulch and your FYI on why we're doing it and what the benefits are. And I'm just getting a ton of questions, and everybody thinks, oh, we're just trying to get rid of it, or this, that, or the other. And no, it's quality product that because we're a nonprofit, we're trying to help people save both time and money, and also improve their garden health and soil health, and make sure that plants live as long as they possibly can, so that they can sequester as much carbon as they possibly can and give us as much enjoyment as they should. All right, if you have any other questions, text or email us. Thanks a lot.